I wanted to review all the Rocky films up to then, and I thought, what better, go over to Dan's house and ask him if he wants to review them with me, because he's a huge fan as well.
Yeah, I love talking about Rocky, so thanks for the opportunity.
The first one here, Rocky, 1976. What a year.
It was. It's just a great year.
Oh man, I wasn't even born.
Disco was happening. 8-tracks were hot.
Oh man, nostalgic.
And someone had an idea.
There was an idea. Oh man, but I mean, like, your memories of the first Rocky, like, I remember when I was younger, this movie was not very appealing to me. Like, I thought it was actually boring, and when it came to the Rocky movies, like, Rocky 3 is the one I saw the most. Rocky 4 was entertaining. Even Rocky 2 was entertaining as well, but Rocky 1, for me, it just wasn't one of my favorites when I was younger.
Yeah, I totally agree. In fact, Rocky 3 was the first Rocky movie that I saw, and we had it recorded on a Betamax machine.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved that movie. And I remember I knew it was the third film, but I didn't really know anything about the first two movies. And I remember when part 1 or 2 would be on TV, I'd be like, oh, I'm like, wait, this is before that? This is kind of boring. Like,
the tone is completely different.
Yeah. So I'm definitely right there with you. I agree.
But now, like, since we're older and stuff, like, I have a deeper appreciation for this film. Like, I think, honestly, when I look at my top 10 favorite films of all time, now, I'm talking about every single film ever made, this is in my top 10. I don't know where, but it's definitely in my top 10. I consider this movie a masterpiece now.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, I typically will say my two favorite movies of all time are Rocky 1 and Jaws.
Oh, that definitely is, yeah.
So those are my top tied, I guess I would say, for number one. And not that we want to get into ratings already, but there's no question for me it's a 10 out of 10.
For sure.
For this film. But there's so much good character development in this movie where, as young kids, and even today, you don't appreciate it until you're older,
Right.
And that's, kids just want to be more entertained. They don't realize the adult settings of some of the situations that happen in this film and just in life. So you kind of, when you watch this as a kid and you're like, oh, why isn't he boxing? Why is he, on the street? What's he doing? Why is he going to this guy that's saying, give me collecting money and all that stuff? And
it's a slow burn.
Yeah.
This is a slow burn film.
When you're older, you understand. The situation stuff. And not to get too much into this, my daughter, who is 11, she just now was interested in watching the Rocky movies, and we watched. We just finished part 4, and I told her, I'm like, part 1 and 2. I'm like, I don't think she's gonna really like them, and they're slow moving, and she definitely liked 3 and 4 better, but that's just kids for you. So
right. I mean, not only the characters, but like the fights.
Right.
The fight scene in this is pretty. I want to say it's bland.
I agree. It's pretty bland.
But let's just get into so it was directed by John G. Avildsen.
Yep.
And written by Stallone.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he didn't go on to, Stallone actually didn't go on to direct until Rocky 2. He did 2, 3, and 4, and then John G. came back for 5. But it's like, Bill Conti, when it comes to the Rocky soundtrack, okay, you have all these great soundtracks. You have, Jaws, Star Wars, Superman, just all these really great soundtracks. But when Rocky, when people hear the "Gonna Fly Now" music, it's you think automatically Rocky. It's like it's the biggest soundtrack. It really is. Like, people know it all over the world. I mean, people even go to the Philadelphia steps to run up the steps for Rocky and probably listen to the music as they're doing it. But like "Gonna Fly Now" is just a great, instrumental song and the theme to Rocky.
Yeah, there's no question that you have themes in life from movies or television shows that people that have never seen it before, you would play that and they'd be like, oh yeah, that's from Rocky. I've never seen it, but I know that's from whatever.
Right.
I've never seen Star Wars. As someone who would never see Star Wars would know this is from Star Wars, just from life. And Gonna Fly Now is definitely one that people would recognize without even seeing the film.
Bill Conti's done a lot. I mean, he's done what? He did Karate Kid.
Yeah.
Even another Stallone movie, Lockup, he did. He's just a great composer.
There's so many good things about this film that kind of it worked. I feel because of the low budget. It was like they had to cut corners, so it made it more realistic as far as like how it looked all dingy and dimly lit and. Something that people don't talk about, and I know it's like we just go on all kinds of tangents with this movie. Is like the Steadicam was invented for this movie, which is the camera that is makes it so if you're running around or whatever, you hook it up so that the camera stays calm and it stays smooth. So that was first used for this film.
And a lot of this was shot on location, except for I think the innards of Mighty Mix Gym. Was shot in a different place. It was L.A., I believe that was shot right in L.A. But most of the locations in this film, you can go to Philadelphia and visit them. Most of them. So, and I did actually. I went to a lot of the places, and so did Dan. But
so we have a few. We could talk about the characters or like the plot. What would you like to?
Let's talk about the plot.
Okay.
Basically,
so it's just a stupid film.
It's a stupid film about. This guy, he wants a shot at the title. Just this bum, this idiot who lives on the street.
This movie's so boring. You sit there and you want to go to sleep. There's no one's interesting.
Really, it's an inspiring story. Like a guy who's basically going nowhere in his life gets a shot at the heavyweight champion of the world to fight him, Apollo Creed, and it's $1 million to 1 shot, and he takes it. And he trains hard, and he faces him in the ring. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, and he pretty much, I don't want to say he knows from the get-go, but he kind of does. He knows he can't beat Creed. I mean, he just wants to stand toe-to-toe and go the distance and prove that he was not a bum from the neighborhood,
Isn't it funny how this never would have happened if Apollo wasn't looking in that book and saying, the Italian Stallion. If it wasn't for Rocky's boxing name, Italian Stallion, Creed would have never even batted an eyelash. I mean, honestly, he looked at it because it sounds like a damn monster movie. Like, he looks at the name, he's like, the Italian Stallion. Like, he loved it. So that's how he gave Rocky a chance, by looking through that book, and it's like, man, like, talk about luck. Like,
And, let's not forget, like, I think that the main premise of this particular Rocky movie is kind of the love story between Rocky and Adrian, and it was like
he raped her.
He pretty much he took advantage of her.
Yeah, let's just talk. Yeah, let's just be calm about it. He took advantage of her in a polite way. He really did kind of force himself on her, even though she didn't want to. But you know what? She needed to get out of her shell. She was a little too conservative.
Yeah, at least he was like, hey, I'm gonna do this. You don't have to.
He warned her. He's like, look, I'm going to kiss you. You don't need to kiss me back, but I am going to kiss you.
It's going to happen whether you want it to or not.
You know how guys are, like, come over here.
It was a different era.
Come over here, there's big bugs in there, it's safer over here. He's using those tactics.
Yeah,
He's using those tactics to get her.
The funny thing is he was definitely trying to be suave and use his tactics, but then they weren't working, so then he forced himself.
I guess she liked that.
Yeah,
it's not
true.
50 Shades of Grey anymore. That's not what we're doing here.
It seems like back then, no did mean yes.
Oh man, I've never been alone in a man's apartment before. They're all the same, What does that mean?
Oh, if you want me to call you brother, I'll call you brother.
Hey yo!
And she didn't even laugh at that. Now come on.
I know.
He has a sense of humor.
Oh man, so The characters, of course, you got Rocky Balboa. Like we've already stated, he's down on his luck pretty much, and then he all of a sudden gets a shot. You got Talia Shire, who plays Adrian, who works in his pet shop, and you know, she's the kind of girl who does all the right things, but yet you can tell she wants to, like I said, burst out of her shell because she's been so confined, I want to say. Like,
no thanks to her brother, you know.
Yeah, and her brother Paulie, played by Burt Young, who's amazing. You want the bird? Go in the alley and eat the bird. I want yous out of here.
You busted.
But like Adrian, you can see a transition. Like when she, you know, Rocky kind of hits on her, he has a crush on her, takes her to the ice skating rink. You know, they go back to the apartment, and then after that, it's like she's a completely different person. She like takes her glasses off,
yeah.
And like there you go. Rocky broke her out of her. I mean, not in that way, but you know what I'm saying. Broke her.
Well, in both ways, but.
Oh my God.
So yeah, the funny thing about Rocky is he's. I don't want to say he's a simpleton, but he's
simpleton.
he's a simple person, but he's wise beyond what he even knows, because he's like, oh, we're two coconuts, you know, like,
right.
He's like, they both. Remember, he's like, we fill gaps.
They both
like, they had gaps,
but they're different. But they share.
Yeah, they both had empty parts of their lives, and being together filled those voids.
What's gaps? Paulie's drunk.
Yeah, I mean, Burt Young is great in this film.
Yeah,
And the funny thing is, like, Rocky and Paulie's relationship is so funny because it's like they're the only two friends they have, and sometimes Paulie's really good to Rocky, and sometimes he's like the worst.
I know,
but
you never know what you never know what is going to happen with him. Like you're going to catch him on a bad day,
right? But regardless of what happens, they always end up forgiving each other and being fine. You know,
yeah.
It's like they need each other just as much as Adrian and Rocky need each other.
Paulie's just jealous because he doesn't have no one to, you know, hang out with him at all times. When Rocky starts hanging out with Adrian, Paulie gets jealous. You know he does. He just seems
yeah, anytime Rocky gets his life kind of in order, Paulie doesn't like that because Paulie's down, and then when Rocky's down, Paulie's cool with that.
Yeah.
But then when Rocky gets some kind of advantage in life, that's when Paulie kind of gets, obviously jealous.
Of course, Rocky had a job before he got accepted to fight in the heavyweight champion, working for Gazzo as a loan shark.
Remember that guy, Rock? Oh wait, that's Rocky too.
Take the coat. It's worth $60.
You know, you should have planned ahead.
Why don't you break this guy's thumb like I told you?
Let me do the figure.
You don't do what I said. It makes me look bad, Rock. Oh man, Gazzo, he's great.
So we haven't really talked too much about Mick.
Well, I was going to get to him.
Well,
I was just kind of going down the line. Yeah, Mick.
Sorry.
Yeah, Burgess Meredith plays Mighty Mick.
Yep.
Who is basically the trainer. At first, he can't stand Rocky.
Yeah, he just thinks he wasted his life.
Yeah.
So he doesn't want to give him any of his time.
But then, once he finds out that Rocky's getting a shot at the heavyweight champion title, then all of a sudden he shows up on Rocky's doorstep. Like, you need a trainer. And it's like, Rocky gets all pissed because he's like, I already came to you for this. And like, you turned me down.
Yeah, and it's like great storytelling because everything that Rocky's saying to Mick in that scene is true. Rocky's like, I need your help 10 years ago. Where were you?
Yeah.
And Mick always treated him like garbage. Now all of a sudden Rocky gets this shot and Mick's like,
right.
Let me be the trainer. But even though Rocky is pissed about the whole thing and he sends him on his way, Rocky realizes, I do need him.
Yeah, he does.
So then that's, he runs back outside and starts a good relationship. So,
but Burgess Meredith is fantastic. Like, he was awesome. What about my prime, Mick? At least you had a prime.
Optimus Prime.
Roll out.
So you got Carl Weathers, obviously, Apollo Creed. Yeah, he did such a good job, and just like an over the top, guy that he knows he's good and he's excellent. He's not afraid to brag about it.
And he's not really a villain.
No,
he's more like a guy
showman.
who's trying. Yeah, he does a lot of showmanship.
He's all about the money and the people.
Fame.
Yeah, the fame. That's the good word for it. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, he's basically trying to do good for the people by giving a low, I want to say like low-ranked boxer a shot at the title, and then of course, like I said, he picks Rocky, and they go out of their way to embarrass Rocky, though. They do even more so in Rocky 2, but in this one, you know, it's like his first interview on TV. Like he feels embarrassed because he's not used to that stuff.
Yeah, I think Apollo was taking some jabs at Rocky, but I think in Apollo's mind, he didn't think he was.
It was all for the TV.
I think he. Yeah, I mean, remember Rocky's like, it did bother me.
Yeah.
But I don't think Apollo was necessarily deliberately being like, oh, I'm gonna shut this guy down. He's just doing it for the fame in this movie. In the second movie is another story.
Because Apollo was all a joke. I mean, even the fight, like he was very surprised when he got in the ring with Rocky, how Rocky pretty much came at him. Like, he was, you know, Apollo didn't expect that. You could tell. He was just holding back, and then all of a sudden, oh my God.
And I'm going to tell you, this is going to be my ongoing story right here in all these reviews, is that the smartest person in all these movies is Duke. The smartest man in all these movies, because think about, we're going to do Rocky 1 right here. He's like, he's all wrong for you, babe. Oh, wait. No, that's the second movie. In this movie, he's like, hey.
In this movie, he sees him.
He's like, hey, you need to come watch this guy. He means business. And Paul's like, yeah, I mean business. So, like, Duke right away was like, we need to focus on this guy, because Apollo totally took the fight too lightly. And that's why, so he didn't train hard, and that's why Rocky was able to go the distance in this movie. And they really were back and forth pretty much the whole fight in this one. So.
I remember when I was younger, and I saw the first time he was hitting that meat and stuff, I thought to myself, like, isn't that frozen? Like, how is he doing that? Like, that's gotta hurt. Like, that's just like hitting a wall. But it's like, when he did that, like, honestly, I wanted to go find a piece of meat, so I could hit it. Like, it really inspires you. I don't know why. Just hitting meat. It's just...
Well, I think that the whole underdog story is why this movie, I think, became so big. You know, everyone wants to root for the guy that's down on his luck.
And then there's, of course, the famous scene where, you know, at first when he did this, he was tired. When he ran up the steps for the first time, he was tired.
Right.
But that was his goal. Think about it. He ran all the way across the town, the city. And then last time he does it, he's up on the steps and he holds his hands up. Like, that's inspiration, like, honestly.
Yeah, there's so many iconic moments in the first film, which is why... Where are we at?
Oh, we got 19. We got a minute left. So,
well, in conclusion,
honestly, Rocky, a 10 out of 10 for me, and probably a 10 out of 10 for you.
For sure.
Okay, it's definitely a masterpiece. And if you have not seen Rocky, this is my #1 recommendation to you. Like I said, it's in my top 10 films of all time. So,
nothing more to say. Great film.
We'll be back with more reviews, and like I said, continuing on with. All the other films up till Creed 2. So, Rob signing off, Dan signing off. See you guys next time.
Take care.
I'm gonna get some chocolate. Cupcakes.